Welcome to the Only Child Review. It is very good to be here. Please pardon the mess. I assure you, I did not urinate on myself. I'm not saying I haven't before. I'm just saying I didn't just now. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so welcome to the Only Child Review. It's been a while since we've spoken. Things have been good. I hope things have been well for you. Today's discussion is going to be, or will certainly regard, at any rate, the question of quality. Specifically in regard to my site, and really overall in posting yourself or your likeness onto something as widespread and as global as the internet and specifically YouTube. I'm speaking really as someone who creates video for the net, for to be seen by anyone who passes by or decides to click. And it's a really rather, for me anyway, it's an ambitious project. Simply because I'm putting myself out there. I don't think it's any more ambitious than what millions of others are doing right now online. It happens left and right. I'm far from unique in this setup. But perhaps, not everyone shares my reticence at doing something like this. I know that when I've had conversations on this show with some of my friends and family, they have, a lot of them have been really cool, but a little nervous at first. Part of that's fear of the camera, but also there's part of them that is quite aware that they'll be broadcast over something as timeless and without boundaries as the internet. And it's a concern because all this goes down in not the books, but history. This is being saved. There are people who can actually access other people's videos and post them on their own private or public spaces for others to see, totally detached from the person who initially put forth the video. And this is an interesting prospect, and so the reason I'm mentioning this is because I'm coming back to do this, and it's always a bit, it's a little tricky doing this after having not done so for a good while, and so I thought, you gotta break it sometime. So I was looking back at some of my very first posts, and they're a little awkward sometimes, but it's good to see the growth. And so hopefully this will be a growing moment for me. Also, the reason I mention quality is because some of my posts, not many, but some of my posts have gotten a few interesting comments from my parents. My parents, I've noted before, are very supportive, cool, loving people. Love them very much. And they're the only ones who check out all the content that I have on YouTube, but specifically through my site. They go to my site, which includes this content that you're seeing, as well as other things, including photos and drawings and writing and things like this. So they get to see the whole thing, the greater context of what I'm doing here. And they've come away with big thumbs up for the most part, which makes me very happy. But in some cases, they're wondering if I actually want to post this. Some videos I've put forth, specifically videos, seem to them, as people who have known me all my 28 years, almost 29 years, that as sort of steps back in the other direction, not per se the wrong direction, but certainly another direction that they see as perhaps less representative of me as a whole, and they're concerned about what I'm posting for others to see, perfect strangers like yourself to see. And it's a fair question, and one that I ask myself with great frequency as I do this. And as I spoke with specifically Mom about the issue, I brought up the big question that confronts me every time I see something on my site, and something I decide ultimately to post on my site that is perhaps of a lesser standard or a lesser quality than I would like to post. And I told her this gets interesting because this is not prefab, as you can probably tell. This is just kind of, it's in a sense a contrived environment in that this is a snapshot in time, as it were. Your being here is a temporary thing. I'll be here, I was here before you got here, and I'll be here after you're here, or after you leave, rather. So in the sense that what you're seeing is contrived, it is certainly no different than any other thing out there. Prefab, pre-scripted, anything like that. But in terms of the content that I'm providing, clearly I'm just kind of freewheeling. And this is really part of the ethos of what I'm doing here. It's the goal of this is to capture it as it happens. To just kind of capture life, my discussions and expressions about life, all at once in a form that is natural or certainly naturalistic. And as a result, you get to see errors, bloopers, as they were, things that give you, perhaps as viewers, my goal here, the reason I do this is because it gives you as viewers a much greater sense of who you're dealing with here, and really it informs my site in much broader ways, with much larger strokes than I could via any prescribed or specifically prescripted method. And so that's what this is all about for me. And as I've discussed before, this is somewhat of a living memoir for me. This is not a popularity contest for me, though I think it's fantastic that people are viewing this. I'm honored. I appreciate it. And the comments that I've gotten thus far have been largely good. And so I also appreciate your being nice, because I realize that's not a requisite. So I really appreciate that. But this is not a popularity contest. This effort of mine is not an opportunity for me to win the hearts of millions. It is rather a form of expression that I think is important for me as someone who is thinking, as someone who wants to leave behind something for himself to see as he ages, something of himself to see of himself, and also for my youngsters, my kids. I don't have any yet, but God willing, I will. And they will no doubt be checking this out. Now, this is not something that's going to be, forced watching in my home. Certainly not. Nothing requisite here. But they might have some interest in what Dad was up to when he was 28. I know that I would not mind a first-hand account of what Dad was up to or Mom was up to when they were my age. So, excuse me, let me transfer my goods. So this is, this is a time for me to share for myself, my offspring, and really, in a lot of ways, my generation. And that's probably, generations. How do you define generations? Are there people who are your age, within 5 years of your age, 10 years of your age, or post-80s? Who knows? I'm simply saying that we're watching this together, and I'm watching your videos as well. We're all just kind of seeing one another for the first time. And it's an intriguing process, and I really, really like it. As you can probably tell, I'm a huge fan of YouTube. I love the opportunities that it presents to people who have limited technology but lots to say. Ideas that they feel like sharing and expressing with others. There are video responses to video proposals. And this is really a fascinating thing. And as a sociology and anthropology guy, this fascinates me. And so I'm very glad and honored and proud to be in on it.